Ever since the isekai genre exploding in the early 2010s, we seem to find that the only victims of Truck-kun are the sex bombs that are only concerned with creating a full-fledged harem. However, as of late, the narrative has shifted, and now we're getting a fair share of new shakeups with this genre. We got a little girl obsessed with bookmaking, a hero who's overly cautious, and finally a John Cena wrestler who is also a furry. Today I'll be talking about a different and refreshing take on this genre, and that, my friends, is my next life as a villainess. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think apart from ReZero releasing later this year, this is going to be the best isekai of 2020. And I'm going to go as far as to say that this series is going to be on my top 5 best anime I watched in 2020. Now, don't get me wrong, this series is by no means a masterpiece, and to me I give it a solid 8 out of 10. But because it takes such a refreshing take on this isekai genre and is able to mesh together all of these generic themes, all it could do is really bow down to the creators behind this amazing series. So to give you guys a quick summary, my next life as a villainess follows a young girl named Katarina Klaas. And bro, she is definitely bratty as hell. If you ever seen a video of a young girl yanking at the tail of a cat, that pretty much is Katarina, a self-entitled, spoiled girl that triggers you to the point of why you understand why Asian parents beat their kids growing up. Then one day she was chasing after her fiance, Gerald Stewart. By the way, I want to caveat by saying that these kids are around 9 years old. She suddenly trips and slaps on the ground as hard as Kaguya-sama's OP Daddy Daddy Do. Right when she slams on the ground, she realized something pretty terrifying. She remembered that she is in fact a 17-year-old teenager otaku from the distant land of Japan. Then one day, after being the 9,999th victim of Truck-kun, she essentially got isekai'd into her favorite otome game, Fortune Lover. And she realized one more hard truth. She got reborn as the main villain of the game. Now this is where the story goes on a fun turn, because then Katarina does everything in her power to prevent herself from getting a death flag in this world. The thing about otome games in general is that after a series of choices that are made, given characters in that game end up in different situations. In Katarina's situation, she realizes that once she enters the Magic Academy and the main protagonist shows up, she is essentially going to end up either dead or exiled. So using her extensive knowledge as a veteran otome otaku player and an actual fortune teller game player, she tries to leverage those things to quote-unquote survive in this world. Which these things really came to Katarina's advantage because all of the main boy characters of that game are currently very young boys. And as a 17-year-old girl in a 9-year-old body, you can only imagine the level of influence Katarina has over these characters. So this is the general flow of the story. Young Katarina will be minding her business, eating all the dessert at the parties, and farming. Which, by the way, was freaking hilarious, because imagine seeing a high-class noble 9-year-old girl hoeing away for some eggplants, thinking that it will raise her earth magic level. I'm sorry Katarina, but that is some Aqua level stupidity. Then Katarina will see a new character or event, and then her mind will go into complete hyperdrive mode. Then in an Inside Out like sequence, different versions of herself would have this United Nations type of conference to best tackle the situation. And for some reason, I found these sequences very entertaining. Like for example, one day Katarina got introduced to her stepbrother Keith Klaas, and it triggers a set of memories from when she actually played fortune teller. She was like, yo, Keith was bullied all his childhood, and that essentially made him a fuckboy. But when he meets the game's heroine, he falls in love for real, and when Katarina, which is her, interferes with their relationship, she gets exiled or killed with magic. After going through that whole thought process, Katarina goes into her mind and has a group meeting with her split personalities. And they conclude with, let's tackle this scenario with little brother complex. After that Congress hearing, Katharina goes beyond and really looks after Keith and helps him regain the confidence he lost at his last household. And in turn, because of Katharina's involvement, this altered the timeline, and instead of turning into a full-fledged fuckboy, Keith actually starts to develop feelings for Katharina instead. So after dodging death flags like this with every character for the next 7 years, Katharina finds herself with a full-on harem with majority of the fortune teller characters. I think this was very apparent in the scene of Katharina's 15-year-old birthday party, because both of the boys and girls asked her for a one-on-one dance. Like, folks, the Yuri energy here is strong here, people. But the funny thing about this whole situation is that in good old anime cliche fashion, Katharina is completely oblivious to the fact that her doom flags are pretty much non-existent because all of the characters fell for her completely. I think what's going to eventually happen is that the characters are going to start to brew a lot of jealousy among each other, and that might indicate a death flag in the future. But anyways, if y'all are looking for that otome satire with both a harem and reverse harem, and looking for a solid isekai with a woman lead, My Next Life as a Villainess is 100% the perfect anime for you. Like always guys, thank you guys for checking out this video. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.